Now, Tim and Johnny Mannah are very, very good friends of the show, and of course they're very, very close. Love each other dearly. And Johnny, the whole rugby league world was shocked years ago when Johnny Mannah was said that he's suffering from cancer. So he was playing for Cronulla. He's come back to Parramatta. Everyone thought the cancer was gone. It was in remission, but unfortunately it's come back. And these two guys are very, very close, and we caught up with them just to see how Johnny is travelling right now.
At the start of the 2012 season, the Footy Show set out to tell the story of Tim and Johnny Mannah, two of four brothers from a tight-knit Lebanese family growing up in the western suburbs of Sydney. This was to be a story of them joining forces and playing together at the Parramatta Eels. But then came a twist that no one expected. These boys had no idea how strong their bond would become and what lay ahead of them.
You know, me and Johnny are only 18 months apart, and we grew up together really close. We were like best mates growing up, and not much has changed over the years.
Growing up together, we played, most of our footy together, and I think that's something that helped strengthen our friendship as brothers, and I think that's something that we've still got today, which we're pretty lucky to retain. To
be able to play in that NRL is one thing. To be able to say you're playing in the competition in Australia as well as your brother made it so much more special. And we both made it the same year, and we're kind of living the dream. We're just loving every day and enjoying life at the stage. And yeah, looking back now, it's probably one of the best times of our lives.
But the boys' NRL dream was soon to come crashing down. A persistent back injury to Johnny, sustained while at the Sharks, refused to heal, and a CT scan revealed enlarged lymph nodes and hot spots, which are often an indicator of cancer.
And they cut me open and took one of the lymph nodes out. And a week later they came back to me with results, and sure enough I had Hodgkin's lymphoma. The first thing I did when I got told was I looked over at Mum just to see how she was going to react, and she stayed strong, and I think that helped me accept the news a bit easier because of how well she did, and I think that made it a lot easier for me actually, and she was someone I could lean on and someone that was always there for me throughout the whole thing. But in the next few days from there, it became a reality, and I was back in the hospital receiving treatment, and that's when it all started to become a reality for me.
When he got told he had cancer, I think at the very start, you start thinking the worst, thinking, well, how bad is the cancer, and is it too late to do anything about it? And you have so many questions going through your head, and that's scary when you get told about at the start.
I think the toughest thing I had to do was to call my dad on the way home, and breaking the news to him over the phone was pretty hard. It was a pretty hard thing to do because he didn't get to hear all the things the doctor got to explain. He just had to hear that over the phone his son had cancer.
He's so loved that no one wanted to see him go through a tough time, and when they realised that he's going to be going through some tough times, I think everyone was didn't know how to handle it.
During the treatment and times throughout it when I was uncertain about a lot of things, my mind wandered here and there, and I was wondered if I'd ever be able to play football again, which I wasn't sure of. But there was a lot of good things that come out of it, and I think I learnt a lot of lessons, and how fragile life can be, and we don't all have as long as we think sometimes on this planet Earth.
Good news was on the horizon for the Mannah family. After 7 months of treatment, Johnny finally got the news he dreamt of receiving.
When I got the phone call to be told that I was in remission, I just couldn't believe that it was all over, just because I wasn't sure. The uncertainty in my mind throughout the time was what hurt me the most mentally, and to know that it was all over for that time anyway was just a big relief.
It was probably one of the greatest moments I can remember. I remember I was at training. It was just a normal day at training at Paris Stadium, and I got a phone call. This time it wasn't a text, it was a phone call, and he basically said I'm on the way home from the doctors and just been given the all clear. And I'm pretty sure I hung up on him pretty quickly after that, and I was high-fiving the boys at training. The relief that day was unbelievable, and I remember I just had this big grin on my face, big smile on my face the whole day, and even now just thinking about it, it just kind of makes me realise how much of a great moment that was.
Waiting to finish this story, we went into a 2-week holding pattern as Johnny's health suddenly deteriorated. Keeping in constant contact with the boys, we knew Johnny was unwell. But when the results were returned from the most recent of his checkups, the news no one wanted to hear became a reality. Johnny's cancer had returned.
I had a couple of tests and scans, and it turned out I had a relapse of the lymphoma that I had back in 2009. Going through this, something like this second time around, I don't think it gets any less scary. It's still got the chances of what could happen to you and what can't.
Yeah, the weeks leading into Johnny's relapse, you kind of see a bit of a physical decline, and obviously living with Johnny, I could see the pain he was in at home, and he was losing a lot of weight, so it was a bit of a worry at the start, and we had to keep it a bit of a secret for a few days. And
I've been through it before. I kind of know what to expect this time around, and I think that might make it a bit easier on me mentally. And that's not to say I've got it all there. I'm just another guy going through cancer, and it's not an easy thing. But I think that's where my faith in God is really helping me and giving me the strength to get through what I've got to get through. I just want to let everyone know that I'm doing okay. I've just got to take baby steps now and day by day do what I have to do. We've still got some one-on-one footy to play against each other. I just want to be on the same team.
I've dominated for years. I don't think it's that backyard. I've owned that for a long time.
Well, I don't know. As we're playing footy together at the top level, I can't really say for sure now. I don't even really know if I'll play footy again. I'm not sure, but I'd definitely love to, and if I'm able to, I will.
Well, it's a heartfelt story, and a big thank to the Mannah boys and the family for letting us into their private lives. I'll tell you something about him. Johnny looks like a fighter, and looks like he's got plenty of ticker. All things going right, let's hope he gets great health in the very near future. You've seen him down at training recently, Hindy. How's he going?
Yeah, he's going good. When he first found out, he addressed the team, and of course we were all shocked and saddened by it. But he made a joke of it. He said, "Look, boys, I'm still the same bloke. I'm sick, but don't pussyfoot around me. I'm still Johnny Mannah, the bloke you knew before I got sick. So if you've got any questions, ask me. I'm happy to answer them." But he popped in the other week, and he was in high spirits. He was good. He'd just been through a treatment, and he was smiling. Coming to say g'day to the boys and have a bit of fun. And I think that's the good thing about being involved in a team environment. You can talk to blokes that you probably wouldn't ordinarily talk to. Timmy's there as well, and he's quite comfortable.
How's
talking
he
to
handling it, Timmy?
They're both strong blokes. They're both strong boys. You can tell that by the way they train, how hard they work. But Timmy doesn't mind talking about it either. I think it's a bit of an outlet for him coming to training. Asking him questions lets him talk about it, how he wants to talk about it. So he's upset, but they're going okay.
It's a big line for him to come out, battling cancer himself, and come out and say, "I'm just another guy with cancer."
Yeah.
I mean, that just goes to show what sort of person he is. He's thinking about other people as well. It's a sad story, and as a rugby league family, we can just be there and support him.
Yeah, and that's what we'll do on behalf of everyone in the NRL. And wish Johnny all the best.